Welcome everyone in our second lesson. The first thing you usually look at when you buy a new machine is the metal nameplate attached to it. Think of it as an ID card. It gathers the most important basic specifications you need to know. And we are not dealing with just any machine. This is a technological beast called the GE9FA. Here we see the two nameplates of this unit, one for gas fuel operation and the other for liquid fuel or diesel, because this turbine is dual fuel. Let's start with gas operation. At the top, we see the title GE Gas Turbine and the General Electric logo. This information indicates the place of manufacturing or assembly, which was done at the GE factory in Greenville, South Carolina, USA. Here, there is a space for the turbine's serial number. Each unit has a unique serial number that identifies it in the manufacturer's records. For example, 298742. This number is mainly for the manufacturer's internal reference. Next, we have the air inlet temperature according to standard design conditions, known as ISO conditions. This means the performance listed on the nameplate is calculated at an air temperature of 15 degrees Celsius. The altitude above sea level is listed here as 9 meters. Now we see the fuel type, natural gas. This means all the following data is calculated for operation on natural gas. The word base refers to base load, which is the maximum continuous load of the turbine as tested in the factory under the stated conditions. The value is written in kilowatts, which equals 257.8 megawatts. For peak, we see NA, which means there is no data for peak load. This unit is designed to operate at base load only. Now let's look at the exhaust gas data. The exhaust gas temperature at base load is 605.6 degrees Celsius. There is no peak value as mentioned earlier. The pressure shown here refers to the exhaust pressure leaving the turbine. Its value is 300 millimeters of water column, which is approximately 0.42 psi, or 0.03 bar. Next, we have the number of compressor stages, which is 18. The rotational speed, or RPM, of the turbine shaft is 3,000 revolutions per minute because the generator operates at 50 Hz. Here, we see that the number of turbine stages is 3, which is the standard design of the 9FA. Of course, there is no power turbine. Below that, we find a safety warning. It states, before installing, operating, or dismantling, read the manual with this number. This refers to the General Safety and Instruction Manual. At the bottom, we see the main GE locations, Schenectady, New York, and Greenville, South Carolina. Finally, this is the design number or internal code of the nameplate.
Now, let's move to the nameplate for liquid fuel operation, also known as distillate. It states that the fuel used is light diesel fuel or distillate fuel oil. Changing the fuel type affects both the output power and the exhaust temperature. Here, the output power is 269.4 megawatts, which is higher than gas operation by about 11.6 megawatts. At the same time, the exhaust temperature is lower than gas operation by about 15 degrees Celsius. The rest of the data remains unchanged. Now, a question for you, and I will wait for your answers in the comments. Why does operating on diesel increase the power and reduce the exhaust temperature under the same conditions compared to gas operation? If you like, we can answer this question at the beginning of the next lesson.
Now we move to another file that contains data related to the turbine and the site where it is installed. These are real operating data, and they may differ slightly from the ideal conditions listed on the nameplate. In the table called Design Data, we find the performance values that the manufacturer guarantees if the specified conditions are met. The first item is fuel type. The fuel here is methane, which is the main component of natural gas. The ambient temperature is 15 degrees Celsius, and the ambient relative humidity is 60%. Together, these are called ISO conditions, which are the standard reference conditions used to measure turbine performance. Of course, these conditions are not always available. This means that if the temperature is 15 degrees and the humidity is 60%, the performance will be as stated. Under these standard conditions, the output power is about 257 megawatts. Next, we have the heat rate, 9,745 kilojoules per kilowatt hour. This means to produce 1 kilowatt hour of electricity, the turbine needs 9,745 kilojoules of heat from the fuel. The heat consumption represents the total thermal energy the unit consumes per hour at full load. In this case, the unit consumes about 2.5 billion kilojoules per hour under ISO conditions. Simply put, this value is the heat rate multiplied by the power output. Why is this number important? It is used to calculate daily fuel cost in performance reports and in heat balance calculations for combined cycle power plants. Next, we have the exhaust gas flow rate, which is 633 kilograms per second. This value is very important for the design and calculation of the heat recovery steam generator in combined cycle operation. And here we see the exhaust temperature at base load. The second table is called site data. It represents the real operating conditions of your actual power plant site. The first item is fuel lower heating value, or LHV. This represents the useful thermal energy obtained from burning 1 kilogram of fuel. In this case, burning 1 kilogram of gas produces 50,000 kilojoules of useful energy. The lower heating value of gas is not constant. The chemical composition of natural gas varies from field to field. Each field produces gas with a different mixture of methane, ethane, propane, nitrogen, carbon dioxide, and water vapor. The higher the methane content, the higher the LHV, and the better the fuel quality. If the methane content decreases, overall performance drops. Efficiency decreases, heat rate increases, and fuel consumption increases. Another question for you. Why do we use the lower heating value instead of the higher heating value in gas turbine calculations, and what is the difference between them? Next, we have inlet loss, 76.2 millimeters of water column. This is the pressure loss at the air inlet caused by filters and ducts. The higher the inlet loss, the lower the turbine performance. Exhaust loss is 139.7 millimeters of water column. This represents the actual exhaust pressure loss measured on site. Site pressure is 1.0135 bar, which is the atmospheric pressure at the plant location. Site elevation is 0 meters, meaning the plant is located at sea level. Sometimes major upgrades are carried out on the turbine. These upgrades improve both output power and efficiency. Because of this, the rated power and rated heat rate values must be updated to the new ones. So when we say 100% power or 100% heat rate, we mean these updated values. In the next video, we will explain the standard performance curves. How much does performance drop when ambient temperature increases? What happens to exhaust temperature when the load changes? And how does turbine performance change?